The Outer Frontier. Book 2. The Frontier Origin. Chapter 5. The Expedition. 3 months passed before humanity returned to the quiet stars. Not because of fear, because no one on Earth wished to repeat the Pathfinder's experience unprepared. Commander Nathan Hale spent those months answering the same question over and over again. Did they attack without warning? His answer never changed. Yes. Did they answer any attempt at communication no? Could there have been a misunderstanding? Nathan always paused before answering. I hope so, because if there had not been, the future frightened him far more than anyone in the room could imagine. The decision was unanimous. A second expedition would be launched. Larger, better equipped, still peaceful. The official mission statement contained only 3 objectives. Establish communication. Determine the origin of the unknown vessels. Avoid conflict whenever possible. Humanity still believed reason could prevail. When the small task force departed Mars, millions watched the launch. At its center flew the UES Pathfinder, her scarred hull now patched with fresh armor plating. She no longer looked like the graceful exploration vessel that had left Earth months earlier. The repairs were obvious. The beauty was gone. Around her sailed 6 military escorts, 2 frigates, 4 destroyers. None had ever fired their weapons in combat. Their crews trained for rescue operations, piracy, and border disputes. No one aboard had prepared for what awaited beyond the frontier, because the frontier did not yet exist. As the fleet entered unexplored space once more, the atmosphere remained cautiously optimistic. Commander Alvarez leaned over Nathan's chair. If they're capable of building spacecraft, they're capable of understanding diplomacy. Nathan nodded. That's what I choose to believe. Days later, the abandoned world reappeared beneath them. Nothing had changed. The cities remained silent. The lights still burned. The streets were still empty. The same unbearable stillness welcomed them back. The fleet established orbit. Science teams resumed their investigations. Military vessels spread into defensive positions. Not because they expected war, but because caution had become impossible to ignore. Lieutenant Ishikawa suddenly looked up. Commander. Nathan turned. What is it? Multiple contacts. Distance. 9 million kilometers. Configuration. The young officer hesitated. I don't understand. The tactical display illuminated. 1 contact. Then 3. Then 7. Then 15. The symbols continued appearing. Not emerging from hyperspace. Not accelerating. Simply materializing from the darkness beyond the system. Commander Alvarez whispered, How long have they been there? No one could answer. Within minutes, 23 unknown vessels drifted silently beyond the orbit of the outer gas giant. Not one transmitted. Not one altered formation. They simply faced the human fleet. Watching, Nathan stood. Open communications. Every frequency. Every language. Every mathematical sequence humanity possessed. Prime numbers. Hydrogen spectra. Geometric constants. Radio. Laser. Gravitational modulation. Nothing. Only silence. The commander of the escort squadron appeared on the main display. Rear Admiral Marcus Sheridan. A career officer. Calm, Methodical Commander Hale. Nathan answered immediately. They haven't fired. Sheridan nodded. Neither will we. Nathan smiled faintly. Thank you. Minutes passed. The two fleets remained motionless, separated by millions of kilometers. Every sensor aboard every human vessel remained fixed upon the unknown craft. Finally, Nathan transmitted one last message. If you can understand us, we come as explorers. We seek peace. Silence. Then, every unknown contact accelerated simultaneously. Not gradually. Instantly. Like a flock of predators responding to a single invisible command. Incoming. The tactical display exploded with movement. No formation. No battle line. No command ship. Every vessel charged independently. Yet somehow, perfectly coordinated. Sheridan's voice echoed across the fleet. Defensive positions. Human destroyers moved to intercept. Railguns fired. Missiles launched. The vacuum filled with streaks of light. For one brief moment, humanity believed conventional warfare still applied. Then the first destroyer vanished. Not exploded. Not torn apart. One instant it occupied the tactical display. The next, it was simply gone. Only expanding debris marked the place where hundreds of people had existed seconds earlier. Silence filled every bridge. Then the battle truly began. The alien vessels crossed through missile fire without hesitation. Several were struck directly. Fragments broke away. Yet none changed course. None slowed. None attempted evasive maneuvers. They advanced with terrifying certainty, as though individual survival meant nothing. Target Alpha damaged. Target Bravo hit. One of the human frigates scored a perfect railgun impact. A section of the unknown craft fractured into dozens of crystalline fragments. For a heartbeat, the bridge erupted in relief. We got one. Then everyone watched in disbelief. Another alien vessel altered course. It passed directly through the drifting debris. The fragments did not remain scattered. They folded inward, flowed, merged, like droplets of liquid returning to a larger body. Seconds later, the damaged vessel resumed its attack. Commander Alvarez whispered, My God." Nathan said nothing, because there were no words. The tactical display deteriorated rapidly. Another destroyer lost propulsion. A frigate reported catastrophic hull failure. Weapons locked. Communications collapsed beneath overlapping emergency channels. No enemy broadcasts. Only human voices. Only human fear. Then Engineer Hassan shouted from the sensor station, "They're ignoring the escorts." Nathan turned sharply. "What?" "They're concentrating on us." The Pathfinder. Every trajectory converged toward the scientific vessel. Not the warships. Not Admiral Sheridan's flagship. The Pathfinder. Sheridan understood immediately. His expression never changed. He opened a direct channel. Nathan already knew. "No." Sheridan smiled. "You've always been terrible at accepting help. You'll never stop them." "I know." The Admiral looked briefly toward his own tactical display, then back at Nathan. "But we don't have to." A pause. "We only have to stop them long enough." Before Nathan could answer, the Admiral turned to his own officers. "All ships, attack. Not retreat. Not defend. Attack." The entire escort squadron reversed course. Every remaining warship accelerated directly toward the incoming swarm. There was no expectation of victory, only sacrifice. Railguns fired continuously. Missiles emptied their launch cells. Damaged ships deliberately crossed the enemy's path to block their advance. One destroyer rammed an alien vessel after losing propulsion. The resulting collision filled space with glittering crystalline fragments. Still, the swarm continued forward. Sheridan reopened the channel. "Nathan, silence. Take them home." The transmission ended. Not because he disconnected, because his ship ceased transmitting. Commander Alvarez looked at Nathan. He remained motionless for only a second. Then he spoke. "Navigation. Set course for Earth. Maximum jump." No one argued. The Pathfinder turned away from the battle. Not out of cowardice, because every person still fighting behind them had purchased that opportunity with their own lives. The jump engines began charging. Warning alarms filled the bridge. Enemy vessels were closing rapidly. Another distortion rippled through space. The ship shuddered violently. Entire decks lost power. The aft sensor array disappeared from every diagnostic display. Someone screamed over the internal communications network. Then, the stars stretched into brilliant lines. The Pathfinder vanished. Hours later, silence returned. The bridge lights remained dim. Smoke drifted through damaged compartments. Emergency teams moved quietly among the wounded. No one celebrated their escape. Commander Nathan Hale walked alone through the observation deck. Beyond the scarred viewport, only stars. Commander Alvarez approached. "We made it." Nathan kept looking into the darkness. "No," he answered softly. "We were allowed to." Alvarez frowned. "What do you mean?" Nathan turned toward the empty starfield where the battle had taken place. "They could have followed us." A long silence. "They didn't." Neither of them liked what that possibility implied. Far behind them, the quiet stars had claimed another fleet. And somewhere within that endless darkness, something now knew that humanity existed.